Is this thing working? It looks like we are live. What is happening, everybody? I hope everybody's having a fantastic whatever day you're watching this. If it's your first time, thanks for stopping by. My channel is really more of just a background noise generator. I'm talking about stuff engine related, motorcycles, cars, get into airplane type stuff. All kinds of topics will come up, camshafts, blowers, you name it. The main thing on this channel, though, is for me to be able to interact directly with you guys. So that's the main focus, is me being able to hang out. The other thing is I would use the live show to kind of vet topics. And a lot of times if I'm trying to put together a standalone video, like a normal just video that's not live, and I just can't seem to make it happen, then what I'll do is I'll just make it a live show topic, and it kind of will flow on its own at that point. Anyway, my show always long form. You know, it's not AI because it's me talking to you, and a lot of guys like that too. I've been finding that people have commented saying at least you're a human being, right? So yes, no AI here. But anyway, getting into it. I've been doing a ton of motorcycle stuff lately, lots of ride-alongs, trying to get more of that type of content out there. And the reason for that is it's just been a lot more fun. On the car side, there's really not a lot going on. And that's one of the biggest bummers for me is that, man, there's nothing coming from really any manufacturer right now that is worth getting worked up over. Or it's not really cars that a lot of folks are all that interested in anyway. So what I will be doing, though, is in terms of car content, what I want to do is, well, we've had a bit of an addition to the family, and I don't really want to let the cat out of the bag just yet, but it's nothing. Look, this is not another Mopar. It's not even an American car. Okay. This is a European car that has recently made it to the field. And I'll tell you what, this is a car that, I've talked about this car a little bit here, a little bit there over the years, but I've never really talked about it. I've never had one to actually play with. And Smoking Hot decided she wanted a new car, found this one, and well, the rest is history. So I'll be bringing this car to you guys, but it's kind of an interesting timing thing for this car because the type of car that it is really what I feel Dodge should have made instead of the new Charger. And so you're going to see a video coming, me talking about this thing, me chatting it up. But the main thing is that it really is a car that I feel like Dodge themselves could have made, should have made with the new Hurricane 6. It's a car that I feel like would have been the spiritual successor to the Barracuda, the Cuda, if you will. It's a car that I feel like realistically would have fit the marketing and the brand ethos of Dodge much better if they would have just followed this particular recipe. And had Dodge gone this way, I think that nobody would be talking about Dodge's future demise. It would just be, wow, this is the new Dodge using that 3-liter twin turbo 6-cylinder engine. And I think that it would have been way more in terms of cars in general without having a V8. I feel like a car that I'm going to be bringing you guys pretty soon, I feel like this would have been embraced. The hugs, the touchy-feelies would have all really been there if Dodge would have made the car that I'm going to be bringing to you guys, again, in limited form, because it's Smoking Hot's car, not mine. But it is a car that I kind of got to pick out. So anyway, looking forward to bringing that to you guys. But outside of that, there's not a lot of, how do I put it? There's just not a lot that's out there to get excited about. Nothing from Dodge at all. And I don't even care if the new Charger gets a V8. I'm still so checked out and disinterested that I don't know what it would take to get me back interested in Dodge unless they built a car like Smoking Hot's car that she just got. So that's kind of where I'm at with this. Ryan is in. What's up, man? Saying should have given us like a stealth with all-wheel drive and the high output 6. I agree. Say, oh, the wife got a new car. Yes, she did. So here's the thing, Ryan. It's just really us hanging out right now. It's an N55 435i M spec. It's a 2015 car. And the thing is that back in the day, and I know I've talked about this car before because when I drove one of these things 10 years ago, these cars are so underrated that it's hysterical. It's as though BMW only rates horsepower at the rear wheels. And so it's rated at basically 306, and it'll pretty much put 300 to the rear tires. So anyway, but the reason why I'm going to be bringing that car along is because it fits beautifully in terms of timeline, 2015. But now with a modern twist, the weight of the car, 3,750 pounds. The engine architecture, 3-liter 6-cylinder. It's got a ZF 8-speed transmission. It's got the same transmission architecture that all the Mopars have. Go figure, right? So I got to say, it's one of those things where you look at it and go, damn, you've got the transmission, you've got the engine. It wouldn't have taken much to put together a platform like this car and send it off into the world. And you can even bring that up a little bit and say, well, any of the newer BMWs could have had the, it's weird. Mopar could have just followed the recipe that's already there. The recipe that's been there for 10 years and my recipe that hit the streets at the same time that the Hellcat made it to the party. So for me, that's the thing that I'm going to be focusing on the most with this car. I don't know that I'm going to get too deep into tuning it. It's really her car. I think she's talking about maybe putting a downpipe cat delete, and that's about it on this thing. Throwing pretty much any generic 91 octane tune on the car and just sending it off into the world as just the fun little hot rod that it can be, and just leave it alone and leave it at that. And if that's all the car ever is, then that's all it ever really needs to be. These are very fun, very quick cars because they don't really weigh all that much. And the thing about it is that this is what Dodge should have made. If they would have listened to their core audience and heard what they were saying when they said they wanted something smaller, they wanted something more functional, they wanted something, if you're not going to give us a V8, give us something that can compete with the likes of, and then start rattling off 6-cylinder turbo cars that are in existence. Again, any of the BMW inline turbo cars, just pick one that you like the looks of. But then you get into, again, the Supra, which is basically a Z4, but you get the idea. Yet another BMW, go figure. But what about the Z car? What about the Z400? At least that's what they were going to call it. Have y'all seen that thing in Nismo when it's kitted out with the Nismo? Holy crap, that's a good looking car, right? So go after those things with the new CUDA, right? If you're getting rid of the V8, don't see, this is the problem with Dodge right now. And I hate to say it like this, but they're bringing back the V8 for member berries. That's it. There's nothing about the new car with a V8 that is appealing, except for the noise that it's going to make. Because, guys, let's be honest. The standard output will stomp a mud hole into the Hemi, the 5.7, in terms of performance. We're already seeing that in the trucks. But to add insult to injury, look at what the HO motor will do to the 6.4 liter. At least there, the power difference, at least in terms of horsepower and torque, it's about 10% more. So it's not so much of a difference. as it is with the standard output making 470-ish pound-feet of torque versus 400 for the 5.7. At least the standard output's making, what, 500 pound-feet of torque versus 475 for the 6.4. It's more, but it's not like the other side of the moon. Horsepower about the same variance, 550 versus what is really 5.